For project number 1, we've decided to create a grunge-inspired track. We've used influences from artists like Nirvana. So I've decided to go for the Aston Stealth, which is a cardioid condenser, and this will help us create a more intimate, direct sound with the vocals.
For project 1, we are going to be doing a grunge song, and for this we will need a drum kit. And to record the drum kit, we will need to mic up quite a few things. We will be using two Behringer C2 Studio Pencil condenser microphones for the overheads. For the toms, we will be using four Sennheisers E604s. For the hi-hat, we will be using a Shure SM81 or a Behringer C1 Studio condenser microphone. We're swaying more towards the C1 Studio condenser microphone, but we want to see which one sounds better when it comes to the demo recording. For the kick drum, we will be using a dynamic mic, which is a Shure PGA 56. For the snare, we will be using a Shure SM57. Our reference for this project is Nirvana, and they used two Lomo 19A9 overheads for their drum track, which we're going to be being similar to Nirvana, where we're going to be using two overheads by a different brand, but we're going to be using two overheads, but we're also going to be miking up the rest of the drum kit, as we think that will make the drum kit recording a better quality.
So the reason why we have chosen this equipment and these microphones for project 1 is because we think it'll get the best quality recordings for the final project for the drums. But also when it comes to mixing, it might make it easier for us, because we'll be able to mix each part of the drum kit to how we want it without affecting other parts of the drum kit. We also have stuck to the two overhead techniques, because we think if when we have the two overheads, we can do the different recording techniques such as ORTF, Glyn Johns, Recorder Man, and we can record three different takes of the drums with three different techniques in the field, put with the rest of our track that we've already recorded, which recording technique we feel like it was better or fits to the track. So yeah, that's the reason why we've decided to stick with the two overheads, but we've also decided to mic out the rest of the drum kit, just so we get a good balance.
For project 1, I'm going to be covering the bass. Now, project 1 is resolved around a grunge piece that we've put together in our group. So when you'd hear the genre grunge in general, your mind would most likely go to the famous bands such as Nirvana, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, any of those 90s famous, just gritty bands that you'd hear. For the piece that we've put together, I've took heavy inspiration off of Nirvana. What they done when they recorded live. What they used for the bass, they get a Gibson bass, which was plugged into an AC30 bass amplifier, and then they mic'd it up with a Shure SM57 to really catch all of the sort of rough, gritty tones that you'd hear in most grunge. I've tried to replicate the sound as good as possible, but unfortunately money doesn't grow on trees, so I'm using a Fender Jazz bass. I can mic it up with a Shure SM57, and then with the bass amp, I will try and replicate the sound as good as possible, so I can really catch all of the rough, sort of grungy tones that you'd hear in the genre. So I'll be working my hardest to get that done, and hopefully it goes well.
To record my grunge track, I'll be using the Shure SM57 dynamic microphones. This is the one used by Kurt Cobain and Nirvana producer Butch Vig during the 90s when recording their Nevermind album. I'll also be using the Kemper Profiler amp with the distortion turned up to get a similar sound to Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana.